Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Matilda Inspired. On today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you my healing journey, how I got here. I see a lot of comments from the previous post I made, and people were asking me how my husband died. Okay, story time, everybody. My husband passed 2021 October in a car accident where he and two other people lost their life. May the soul of my late husband continue to rest in peace. Um, it has not been an easy ride for me, you know, when you think you're at where God wants you to be, everything about my life, I had planned it right from when I was in, university. At this age, I'm gonna finish school. At this age, I'm gonna graduate. At this age, I'm gonna get married. By this age, I'm gonna be done having kids. And when you think your life is actually going the way you plan it, and losing somebody that you love happens to you, all your dreams, all your aspirations, everything you had hoped, prayed, planned for in your face will just be washed down the drain. Your life can be messed up. Your life can switch up from 100 to 0. You know, my life went from 100 to 0 within a blink of an eye. I never saw it coming. I never felt it coming. You know, even I never dreamt it coming that something like that was gonna happen to me. That one day I'm gonna wake up and the next thing my name would change from married to widow, or my son would just become fatherless within a twinkle of an eye. Nobody prays for that. I don't even pray it for my enemies. I don't have enemies. But I don't even pray it for anybody. I don't wish it for anybody because it's actually not a path, it's actually not a road you would want to go down. Actually not a beautiful situation. It's not a beautiful memory. It's not a beautiful experience. There is nothing beautiful about losing a loved one. I've been there. I've seen grief. I've been faced with grief, like grief that comes from a broken heart, grief that comes from betrayal, grief that comes from so much pain and bitterness. I can't even explain what I felt that period, but it was beyond grief. It was beyond grief. I had so many questions to ask. I had so many things to say. When you want to voice out, when you want to shout, you want to scream, but you cannot. You just have no choice than to swallow it, you know, to internalize it. And internalizing pain, internalizing grief is actually very, very dangerous. I basically internalized, my pain. I internalized every emotions. I internalized it, and it was very detrimental to my health, to my well-being, to my state of mind. You know, it's not grief is not something to joke with. So when I see people going through grief, whether grief of loved one, grief of losing a job, grief of losing a child, grief of, you know, heartbreak, going through pain, going through breakdown, I know what it feels. Imagine feeling grief of losing somebody, grief of betrayal. Imagine going through a lot, like not just one grief. You're not grieving losing somebody only. No, you're not grieving just that. You're grieving a whole lot of things at the same time. Imagine going through all that. That is what I went through, you know. So when people see me and they are like, "Oh, Matilda, you look good. Matilda, you're bubbling." Yeah, they know what they are talking about. Very few people, very, very few people know my story from the beginning to the end. So they are always, happy whenever they see me radiating, smiling, laughing, because they never believed that I'll pull out from it. They never believed I'll come out from that traumatic experience, from that they never believed I would come out from it. So grief is dangerous. If not managed well, is actually very dangerous. You can lose your life. You can lose your sanity. You can lose your mind in the process of um, grief. You can actually lose. You can even lose people. People can. They'll be like, ah, "Why is she still grieving? It's a year now. Why is she still?" You will lose friends. Grief can make you lose friends, can make you lose loved ones, because it is it's gonna be tiring on their own part, having to endure your constant mood swings and all of that. God so kind, God placed good people around me. When I say good people around me, I'm talking about my immediate family, my mom, my dad, my siblings, my aunties, uncles, friends, pastors. God placed them in my life at that critical time to be able to, walk me down the process of grief, of, you know, it's not something that anytime I think about it and I look back and I remember, it's not a place I wish for anybody. It's not a place I wish for anybody, because you will lose yourself, you lose your spark, you lose your beauty, you lose everything. So it takes God to bring you back to your normal state. It hasn't been an easy road. It hasn't been, a good ride, but I am where I am today by the special grace of God, by his mercy, and the angels he put around me to walk, this road with me. So my behavioral response towards the news about the passing of my late husband was terrible. My behavioral response was horrible. I went through the 5 stages of grief. Yeah, I went through the 5 stages of grief. Some people, it takes them maybe a year to grieve and move on. Some people 6 months, some people um 2 years, 3 years. Depends on the individual. In my case, it took me almost forever. It took so long to, move from one stage to the other. I went through denial stage. That stage I was like, no, it's not possible. Nah, he traveled, he's coming back. You know, like before I got into the acceptance stage, it took me a long time. I was like, no, he's still alive, he's somewhere, he's a lie, he's a mistaken identity, he's not the one. At the point I was even losing my mind. No, I don't know what people are talking about. He's not my husband. People are talking about. He's somebody else. Is that I started blabbing. I was going crazy. Is beyond description. I was seeing a therapist then, and I was advised then, anybody that don't, like, you are not comfortable with, anybody that, okay, whenever the person calls and you're panicking, or you're you're tensed, or you begin to shiver because of how the person's approach to you, just let that person go for now. Just let them go. Okay, just block them. In short, for your peace of mind, just let it go. Just, that I was at that stage, the anger was, it was as if the anger was taking over me. I mean, probably I couldn't manage it. I didn't know how to manage my emotions were like they were boiling up. They were just, little thing you say to me would trigger me. You just say something to me, it would just trigger me. you know at that point in time, I just needed love. I needed care. I needed soft, just be kind. Just be kind. Just be kind to me, you know, because I don't get triggered when you're kind or when you're nice to me. No, it doesn't trigger me. It calms me down. When you're calm, when you're nice, I'm calm, I'm relaxed. I begin, like, my sense of reasoning, you begin to speak to like, my sense of reasoning. I begin to see reasons with you. But when you're always talking to me and you're shouting, you're yelling, you're you're dominating me, you want to dominate me, or you want to make me feel less of myself. You want to make me feel less of myself. You're reminding me, after all, did you see your husband here? When you talk to me in a demeaning way, when you try to be so demeaning, so malicious, so petty, so I the best thing I did was to just, I say no, it's like I'm not welcomed here. So the best thing is just to just back up. So I did a lot of backing up. I did a lot of cutting off. I cut off friends, I cut off families, I cut off a lot of people, people that were detrimental to my um mental health, people that were detrimental to my healing growth, people that I did a lot of cutting off. Yeah, because it wasn't going to help me, you know, being in communication with someone that makes me panic, someone that makes me agitated. So I did a lot of cutting off. That was the best decision for me at that point in time, because it actually helped me. So I tilted towards people that were all kind, nice, loving. Those were where I was, where you're welcomed, where you feel loved. So I was tilting my heart, my affection, everything towards that direction. And it's really helped me. It really, really helped me, because those positive words, those encouragements really, really helped me, you know, to swing out of that anger emotions. Like I said, the first emotions was denial, seconded by anger. So it really, really helped me overcome overcome anger, because I was getting angry, I was getting mad, but the anger was internalizing. I wasn't even expressing. So I was internalizing that, my heart was so heavy and thick. Everything was just, I don't know how to, when you're angry and you're not expressing the anger, you're not carrying out an action, is actually very, very dangerous. So I was internalizing the anger. So it was crazy. So the third stage was the bargaining stage. I was like, God, can't he come back? Can't you bring him back? Bring him back now, for the sake of my kids, the sake of my son. Bring him back. What if he comes back? What I was bargaining, I started reading books. I was looking for how will he come back? How is he going to come back? God, is he going to come back? Is reincarnation real? I started asking questions. I'm like, okay, God, bring him back and take and take this evil person. God, bring him back, and I was like, God, take him, bring him back and take this person. This person is evil. This person is bad. Bring him back. I was bargaining. I was like, God, why? I was asking so many questions. I was negotiating with God. I was like, God, why? I was asking, what if you can, what if I was asking so many questions, so many numerous questions, bringing him back, let him come back to us, come back to me, come back. Jeez, like, that stage 2 was crazy because I was acting like my nuts were off. I'm laughing now. Then it wasn't funny. It wasn't actually funny. I like, if one lady said it's like my nuts. It's as if there's something wrong with my brain. Like my nuts were like, imagine I'm going through grief. I'm going through grief, and someone is telling me it's like you're nuts. Yeah, I was not. Truly, I was actually not. I was not. Even she called me crazy directly in my face. She called me I'm crazy. Yeah, I was crazy because nobody will go through what I went through and would not act crazy or would not seem crazy. You know, going through grief, losing somebody, going through betrayals, not just one betrayal, two, not two, going through betrayals, like unfolding revelations of things, you know even the person that called me crazy, I'm sure she would not even, she cannot handle half of what I handled. No, 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 I don't think she would handle half of what I handled. I'm laughing now because it's something to laugh about, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So I went through bargaining. I went through bargaining. I wanted him to come back. I wish he would come back. I wish. Yeah, I was depressed. The depression was sickening. I wasn't interested in anything, in any activity. I wasn't I wasn't I wasn't interested in anything, going out, visiting, blah, nah. Except maybe on few occasions, maybe when my best friend flew all the way from America to visit me, and she was like, "No, Matilda, you can't do this. You can't do this to yourself. You need to step out." So gradually, I started going out for weddings. I'll go with my mom for occasions and all of that. But it was actually depressing. I know me. I'm a social girl. I'm a social butterfly. I'm an outdoor person. Before this event happened, I'm an outdoor person. I love to go out, you know. But the outcome of the event really, really, made me. I withdrew into my shell. I wouldn't want to visit people. I wouldn't want to go out. But gradually, with the help of family, with the help of friends, with the help of my therapists, my pastors, they were able to talk me out of depression. Were there times I tried to kill myself? someone asked me Someone asked me that question, whether there were times I actually thought about killing myself. Yeah, there were times like that. The thoughts would just pop up. I'm like, what am I living for? What's the essence? What's the essence of all of this? I fell flat. I fell flat. When you fall flat on your face, I fell so flat. So I was like, what's the essence? So thought of the suicidal thoughts came in, it crept in. Yeah, it crept in. I never locked my door throughout my stay with my parents. I never locked my door. My door was always open. My dad would stroll in. My mom can stroll in. Anybody could stroll in. They were always checking up on me. So, they were I was being followed bumper to bumper. I was followed per minute per second. So I was not left alone. I got so much happiness from my son. It would always make me happy. We'll make videos together, we'll laugh together, we'll eat together. My first outing was with my boy. I was like, let's go out. We've been indoors. Mommy, take me to pizza. I want to eat pizza. Mommy, I want ice cream. I'll be like, okay, let me give someone money to get. No, my mom said, no, don't send anybody. Go by yourself. That was how I was, going out. I would drive my boy. We'll go buy Domino's, go buy ice cream, go buy KFC, whatever he wanted. I would always give him because I didn't want him to feel, the absence of his dad. I didn't want him to feel like I wasn't doing enough for him. So I started becoming brighter because of my boy, because I didn't want him to, he had already lost his dad. I didn't want him to, lose his mom. I'm not talking about physically losing me to death or something, but losing me emotionally. So I needed to be emotionally there for my boy. So I had to snap out of it, snap out of the depression. So I started doing things to make me happy, like going out on dates with my son, with my boy, because that's the only person I'll go out with my son. My parents will take me out, go to church, Start getting busy in my dad's company. I started going following them to their office, working with them, you know. So that's that was how I was able to, battle with depression. That was how I was able to come out of depression through the help of, like I said, family, loved ones. They really, really helped me, to battle depression. So after battling with depression, and I was actually, able to come out of it, and through the help of my parent prayers and people around me, friends, families, and all of that. I was able to snap out of depression, not 100%, not totally, but I started, you know, accepting the fact that, he's gone and gone for good. He will not come back. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing we'll do. No amount of prayers would bring him back. So that was how I moved from depression stage to the stage of acceptance. The acceptance stage. So I started accepting my new reality. I began to I began to I began to change my mindset gradually. I had to program my mind to accept the fact that what has been done cannot be undone. I needed to move on. I needed to pick up my life back. I needed to pick up the broken pieces of my life, patch it together, and create something beautiful out of it. That was how you know, I transitioned from that stage of depression to acceptance stage. It wasn't as I said, each stage is like I spent a whole lot of time in each stages. It's not something you can um snap out just like that. No, it took a whole lot of time for me to move from one stage of grief to the other. So it was in the acceptance stage that I'm like, okay, it is what it is. What has been done has been done. You know, I needed to, let it all go. I needed to learn how to love myself, forgive myself, and forgive people that betrayed me. Yes, I actually did. I forgive each and everyone, each and everybody, like everybody that betrayed me, everybody that made me, pass through what I passed through, everybody that I like, everybody I hoped and I was hoping and counting on, each and every one of them that, caused me distress, caused me pain, caused me tears. Yes, because my tears, my pain was not just caused from grief. It was caused from betrayal of trust, you know, betrayal from my heart. I just let it go, and that was how, like, that was the healing journey. That was when the healing journey started. You know, acceptance. That was when I got to that acceptance stage. That was when the healing journey began. The healing journey began at the fifth stage, which is the acceptance stage. So guys, I hope I've been able to, I hope this episode I've been able to give you an insight on going through the stages of grief, the 5 stages of grief in my own experience, and how I was able to handle it. So if you have someone that is going through, grief, that has lost a loved one, you can actually share this video to them, so they can actually understand that I also went through it, and whatever they are going through is just temporary. Yes, it's temporary if they actually allow it to be temporary, because healing starts from you. Healing starts within you. You accepting that what has happened has happened. There is nothing you can do about it. Healing starts from you accepting your new reality, accepting that what happened is beyond you, it was beyond your control. So please share this video to them. It will encourage them, it will strengthen them. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for subscribing, and God bless you till we meet again in the next episode. It's your girl Matilda Inspired. Be inspired. Bye.